This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now, I've always said that, my opinions are usually just opinions, and usually, people suggest things and stuff like that, and usually, I'll be honest with you, I usually go, okay, well, that's their opinion, this is mine. But with this Dungeon Delve thing, I need to explain a few things because I made such a horrible mistake. And what it consists of, and it goes a little farther than this, is Chronicles of Drungor. And we'll get to that part and how it all fits in, and I'm going to try to fix a few things here. But, it's okay to admit when you're wrong and you make a mistake. And I made a big mistake. Now, the process how I do a lot of these top 10 videos is I always felt that, I have an hour and a half drive home from work. Yeah, it's pretty far. But for what I do, it's just a necessity, especially now that we moved out to the farm. I'm far away. Before it was always about an hour. The thing that I run into is that while I'm in the car, I usually think of things. And I always said to myself, if I'm not thinking about the channel on the way home, or, not both ways, I listen to some podcasts and stuff like that. But if I'm not thinking of that channel, then something, then it's time to stop doing it. And every day I head home, and I always come up with a few thoughts. Matter of fact, I'm trying to stop something here that's going on my phone. And I came up with this thing, and I always said the best way I can ever do top tens are things that come to my head, not looking at my shelves going, well, that's pretty good, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. Because I always felt that if I said Dungeon Delve, what's the first thing that comes to my mind? And those are usually games that mean something to me. And with a lot going on, here on the farm, and the whole sewer, our drainage field problem that we had, which cost, $6,000 to fix, I had a lot on my mind. But I made the video, and I pretty much got everything. But the things that were on my mind are sometimes more modern things, and that's why, if you notice, I put, hey, as of 2022, here's what I think are the best Dungeon Delves. And I can't believe that I forgot Chronicles of Drungor, which is like one of my favorite games in my top 10 games of all time. And I don't know why I forgot it, but when I started thinking, because as I'm going, I'm voice texting into here going, okay, Warhammer Quest 95, and I came up with a whole bunch of a list. There were a couple other games that missed that people had mentioned, but when people said Chronicles of Drungor, I realized I made a massive mistake by not including that in there, because I love this game beyond human belief, and I can't believe I missed it, because I brought it back from the storage unit because I wanted to do a live play very soon. And so here you go, it's all painted, and this thing has been a lifesaver of mine, because when I was really bad with COVID and they didn't think I was going to make it, it was one of the things I painted because I couldn't sleep at night, because I was in so much pain. And I painted this entire set, and it means a lot to me. And not only does it emotionally mean something to me, I feel it's one of the best games, dungeon crawls, out there because of its uniqueness and the things that it does. And I couldn't believe that I forgot that. Now, we'll rectify that, and we'll put that in the slot that I think it should be at. But I also want to justify something, okay? And that is my number one. And I want to tell you why I put Hero Quest at number one, because I don't think I said it as well in the video. And I think it really comes clear if I explain it to you and why it's number one. The first reason, number one, it is one of the most historic dungeon crawls of all. Okay? It's easy to play. Is it a better game than Warhammer Quest 95? No. Is it a better game than Chronicles of Drungar? No. Is it a better game than Dungeon Universalis? No. Is it a great game? Yes. Why is it number one then? There's a couple of reasons here. It has the potential to be even better than it was if Hasbro keeps at it. And right now it's number one for a couple of reasons. Ease of play, okay? It's an easy gateway for anybody that's never played a dungeon delve in their life. Everybody has taken something from HeroQuest to make one of these games because it's such an iconic game. And now that it's back and revived, it deserves to be number one. Does Warhammer Quest 95 deserve to be there? In my heart of hearts, yeah. But why isn't it? Well, if it wasn't for HeroQuest, we would have never got Advanced HeroQuest, and we would never got Warhammer Quest. Think about it. Okay? It's a game that is going to bring more people in. It is a grail game. A lot of these games that I talked about in the top three are grail games. And I have to be honest with you, Chronicle of Drungar is a grail game in my thoughts. I just can't believe when I put this list together and I came up with this idea to do it that I actually forgot it. Because all my list I try to make generic and from my heart, and I try to do it in a way that is unique. What games in something come to my mind? Do I miss things? Yeah, I do. Another couple of games I missed. Secrets of the Lost Tomb. Very, very, very good game. Missed that. Darklight, Memento Mori. I always get that one mixed up. Another good game, but does it belong in the top 10? No. It was very hard to get to the table because you had to fix so many things. It was a translation thing. And it's still a game I need more time. But is it a great game? It's in the fashion of Warhammer Quest. Will I play it a bunch and maybe get it to that point? Yeah. Another person had said something about Blackstone Fortress. That's a ship. That's a sci-fi ship adventure. It's why the same reason why Space Hulk isn't there. Are they great games? Yeah. Do they kind of belong there? Yeah. But I was going for something a little bit different. But the biggest mistake I made was, where do I put one of my, what I feel is an all-time classic, and yet I skipped over it. Simple mistake. We all make mistakes. And that's what this video is about, is a mistake. Now, where does this go? I really thought about this on the way home. And as a matter of fact, I just got home a little while ago. And what do I run to? I run to the camera. I got something to say. That's the way my process works. So you understand how I am. Things are fresh in my mind. And when I started looking at the top 10, I think I got to keep HeroQuest where it is. Even though it's not the best of the best, but it has to sit at number one because what it means to me, and where it fits historically, grail-wise, and the potential that it has going forward. I think HeroQuest has a huge thing. Alter Quest, another game somebody mentioned, I don't think it makes the top 10. Does it feel a little bit like HeroQuest? Yeah, it's another one of those points that I make, that it takes stuff from HeroQuest. Is it a good game? Yeah, I think so. Bard Song, is that enough to make the top 10? No. These are all games that deserve honorable mentions, but the one that has to be fit in is Chronicles. Now, what do I drop out? I was thinking of dropping out Iron Helm, to be honest with you. And I think you have to drop that out, and push everything down a bit. But then I said that wouldn't be fair because I do like that game. It's a newer game. It's different. Okay, so we had a little edit spot there. My grandson was screaming. But listen, I actually cut a little bit out here. So I'll go back to what I was trying to say. So do I get rid of Iron Helm? No. I don't get rid of Iron Helm. I think we keep it at the slot that it is. I think what I'm going to do, and it's kind of tough because I really like Marching Order a lot, and it's a game that I've been playing a ton of, and I think it really it sits very well. I think we're going to move everything down, okay, and we're going to have a top 11. And I think it's got to go number 1, Hero Quest. Number 2 has to be definitely Stay in Place. I would like to say number 2 would be Dungeon Universalis. At number 3, I'm going to squeeze in Chronicles of Drungor. Okay, I'm going to push Warhammer Quest 95 down to 4, the 4 slot. Then it'd be 5, Marching Order, and then everything will follow from there. So we're going to keep everything in a top 11. We're going to keep it in a top 11. So if you see it, just drop everything down a little bit, and I have to squeeze in Chronicles of Drungor. With the Apocalypse Kickstarter that's coming out, it's just more greatness from these guys. Their Kickstarter was absolutely fantastic, and I just can't believe it escaped my mind, and I am ashamed of myself. And when I'm wrong, I'm always somebody that admits that he is wrong. This is just one time that I really got my butt handed to me on my processes of putting a list together. I like to do it organically. I like to do it differently instead of writing out 1,000 things. Sometimes I write out a bunch of things, or things come to my mind and I put them on there. And if you think of all the games out there, the ones that come to my mind are usually the ones that mean something. I couldn't believe that I forgot this, and it's just one of those weird things. But at number 3, I'm going to put Chronicles of Drungor and apologize to Danny Alves and Arico. You know, they have done a fantastic job. If you have a chance to get your hands on Chronicles of Drungor, it's to the point I feel so bad that we are going to do a live playthrough of this, or I'm going to do a tape playthrough. And I want to show off all my painted stuff, everything that I've done with it. And I feel horrible about it, but that's just the way it goes. When you try to do things organically, you're going to put your foot in your mouth. And you got to be a big enough boy to say, hey, yeah, I did. This was one mistake. Some of the other things that were suggested, I'm going to completely stick to my guns. Dungeon Crusade, I'll be honest with you, the more it goes on, the more I don't care for it. I just think it is too busy. I hate the combat system because it actually makes treasure worthless. You know, if you find a great sword, okay, what's the big difference? You're still playing rock, paper, scissors. It's something that I like. I had high hopes for, but I really think that the combat system, but you know, we can't put Roger's passion aside. Roger is very passionate about the game, and the game keeps evolving, and he's done a great job with it. For me, it just doesn't hit my top 10. That's not a bad thing. I mean, there are tons and tons of dungeon crawls that I absolutely love, and I do like Dungeon Crusade quite a bit. It is very ambitious and fantastic, and does a lot of things. There's just some things that just turn me off from it and kind of keep me from going back to it, and I don't know why. And that doesn't mean that it's a bad game. There's a lot of games that did not even make the list. I mean, Descent, okay, the 3rd edition, that doesn't kind of fit into this dungeon crawl thing because it's kind of a wide open thing. Does it make our other list that you'll see next week, our RPG/fantasy box games? Well, let's find out. We've got plenty of videos that I've done that are coming out, and I hope you enjoy. So I had to make sure that I made this and said what I had to say. This addendum to that. It's the first time I've ever done something like this, but you know, sometimes you trip over yourself, and you got to be man enough to stand up and say, "Yep, I made a mistake there, a big one," and it is a big one. Chronicles of Drungor is probably one of the best dungeon crawlers. I just can't believe that my mind went blank, and when I was filming, I forgot to include it. So I apologize to everybody out there, and to the great people at Creative. So, but at number 3, without a doubt, Chronicles of Drungor, all time, great. Put my foot right in my mouth. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.